That famous verse about being still is actually a technical manual for rewiring your mind. You've heard it quoted as a call to prayer, a comforting thought, a platitude for a stressful day. You're about to see it as a direct command for accessing a level of awareness most people never touch. And the very noise you think is helping you solve your problems is the one thing blocking that access. The original Hebrew word for be still is rapha. It appears all over the Old Testament, and it rarely means be quiet and meditate. Its primary meaning is to let go, to release your grip, to surrender control. Think of a clenched fist being forced to open. It implies an active, deliberate release of something you are holding onto with all your strength. This is an instruction to stop wrestling. Stop brute forcing the problem with your conscious, analytical mind. That part of your brain, the part that makes lists and worries and strategizes, is the very thing you are being commanded to release. It's the gatekeeper, and you need it to step aside. For most of us, this is terrifying. The conscious mind feels like the only tool we have. To be asked to drop it feels like being asked to fall backward into darkness. But the verse provides the physics of that darkness. The instruction has two parts, and the second part only works if you execute the first. Releasing your grip is the prerequisite for what comes next. It's the act of creating a vacuum. Our minds are constantly filled with the chatter of analysis, prediction, and regret. This internal monologue is a survival mechanism. It runs scenarios. It tries to control the future by replaying the past. But this constant processing uses up all the available bandwidth. Creativity, intuition, the breakthrough idea, these things operate on a different frequency. They can't get through the noise. So the command to be still is an instruction to cut the engine, to stop the frantic paddling, to simply float. Why? Because the current already knows where to go. This concept isn't exclusively mystical. Turn-of-the-century researchers studying creativity found a consistent pattern among the most prolific inventors, scientists, and artists. They called it the 4 stages of creativity: preparation, incubation, illumination, and verification. The preparation stage is all conscious effort. It's the hard work, the research, the wrestling with the problem. It's you with your fist clenched, trying to force the solution. But the breakthrough, the illumination, or the aha moment almost never happens during this stage. It happens during incubation. It happens when the creator has given up. They've gone for a walk, taken a shower, or fallen asleep. They have, in effect, followed the command. They have let go. And in that quiet space, the solution arrives. It feels like it comes from nowhere, but it comes from the stillness. What happens in that silence? That brings us to the second, more profound part of the command. And know that I am God. This has been interpreted for centuries as an external recognition, a declaration of faith in a deity separate from yourself. But there's a deeper, more operational meaning embedded in the grammar. The phrase I am is one of the most powerful statements in the entire text. When Moses asks for God's name at the burning bush, the answer is, I am that I am. It's a statement of pure being, a declaration of existence itself, prior to any name, form, or attribute. It's the conscious creative principle of the universe, naming itself. The verb is existence. So, when the verse commands you to know that I am God, it's directing your attention to this principle of I amness within you. It's an instruction to shift your identification. You let go of the small, chattering ego mind, the part of you that identifies with your job, your problems, your history, and you become aware of the vast, silent, creative intelligence that is simply being. You are to know, to experience directly, that this universal creative power, this I am, is the true nature of your own consciousness. You are a channel for it, the creator, the source of all things. The feeling you are supposed to connect with is the one that was there before your name, before your worries, before your identity was ever formed. This flips the entire verse on its head. It transforms from a passive act of worship into an active, internal process of creation. The stillness isn't for waiting on an external power to solve your problems. The stillness is the protocol for becoming that power. You quiet the surface of the water so you can see the sky reflected in it perfectly. Your personal mind is the choppy water. The I am is the sky. You cannot see one while being agitated by the other. This is a manual for achieving a state of creative flow. It's a state where your personal will gets out of the way, and a deeper, more intelligent will takes over. Athletes call it the zone. Musicians call it the pocket. It's that state where you are performing at your peak, but it feels effortless. It feels like something is moving through you. Critics of this view will rightly point out that the historical context of Psalm 46 is national crisis. It's a song of assurance for a nation under siege, telling them to stop their frantic military and political maneuvering and trust in God's power to save them. That context is absolutely true. But the mechanism described is universal. The command to a panicked nation to cease its self-defeating struggle and align with a higher power is functionally identical to the command for a panicked individual to do the same. The physics are the same. A mind caught in a loop of fear and control locks itself out of the very solutions it's seeking. This is a law of consciousness. Whether the problem is an invading army or a blank page, the path to a high-order solution is the same. Cease the struggle, create a space, and connect with the source of the answer. Let's make this brutally practical. Think about a problem you are wrestling with right now. A business decision, a difficult conversation, a creative block. You've been turning it over and over in your mind. You've made lists of pros and cons. You've run the scenarios. You have been, in every sense, clenching your fist. The instruction is to stop. For a set period of time, maybe just 15 minutes, your only job is to release it. Physically unclench your jaw. Relax your shoulders. Take your mental hands off the steering wheel. This is the be still part. It's an act of will. You are choosing to stop the mental churn. Then, you shift your awareness. You turn your attention inward, past the noise. You listen for the quiet hum beneath the thoughts. You are looking for the feeling of pure awareness, the simple sense of I exist. That's it. You just rest in that feeling, the knowing. You are to know, experientially, that this core awareness is the creative principle. This is the I am. You are placing your trust in the fact that this deeper intelligence is already at work on the solution. You've done the preparation. You've fed it all the data by wrestling with the problem. Now your job is to get out of the way and allow the incubation to happen. You've handed the file over to a much larger processor. Your only task is to trust the process. The solution will often arrive when you least expect it. After you've fully let go, it will surface as a sudden insight, a quiet knowing, a simple next step that feels right. It will feel obvious. In retrospect, it will feel like it was there all along, just waiting for you to get quiet enough to hear it. This isn't magic, it's a mental technology. You're toggling between two different modes of consciousness, the focused, analytical mind and the diffuse, receptive mind. True genius lives in the ability to switch between these two modes effectively. The focused mind gathers the wood. The receptive mind provides the spark. Most of us just keep gathering wood, wondering why there's no fire. The word know in the original text is also significant. The Hebrew word yada implies a deep, intimate, experiential knowledge. This is the same word used to describe a husband knowing his wife. It's a knowledge born of direct contact, of union. It is far from intellectual understanding. You are being instructed to merge with this creative principle, to feel it as the very core of your own being. It's a radical shift in identity. The verse is effectively saying, stop trying to solve this as the limited person you think you are. Instead, become still and remember that you are the limitless consciousness through which all solutions flow. This process is a kind of death. The ego, the small self that thrives on control and fear, has to be temporarily surrendered. It has to be trusted to the deep. This is why it's so difficult. It feels like giving up. It feels like failure. Our culture glorifies the struggle, the grind, the hustle. We are taught that the only way to solve a problem is to attack it relentlessly, and that works for a certain class of problems. But for the truly complex, for the challenges that require a genuine leap of insight, the relentless attack is the very thing that prevents the breakthrough. The mind, under pressure, can only access old patterns. It can only give you variations of what you already know. The new answer, the elegant solution, exists in a space beyond those patterns, a space that can only be reached through stillness. Imagine a safe. Your conscious mind knows the first two numbers of the combination. It can spend all day trying every possible third number, one after another. That's brute force. That is the clenched fist. The instruction to be still is the equivalent of stopping, taking a breath, and realizing the third number isn't a number at all. It's a key. It's a completely different kind of input. And that key has been in your pocket the whole time. The moment you stop trying to guess the number, you remember the key. The I am is that key. It's the access code to a different order of intelligence, an intelligence that doesn't calculate the answer, but reveals it. This interpretation also reframes the idea of prayer. Prayer becomes something other than a list of requests sent to a distant power. It becomes the act of creating the internal state necessary for the answer to emerge. You are preparing the vessel. You are tuning the receiver to the right frequency. The prayer isn't the words you say, it's the stillness you achieve. The act of faith isn't believing you'll get what you want, it's trusting that if you release your grip, a better answer than your mind could conceive is already waiting. This is infinitely more powerful. It makes you a co-creator in the process, an active participant in the unfolding of your own life. This is difficult to trust because we have so much evidence of our own limitations. We remember all the times we failed, all the times we weren't smart enough, all the times our best efforts fell short. That's the dataset of the ego. But that dataset is incomplete. It's missing every instance where an idea came to you out of the blue, where you had a gut feeling that turned out to be right, where a problem that seemed impossible suddenly resolved itself once you stopped thinking about it. You've experienced this mechanism before. You just called it luck or coincidence. The verse offers a different name for it, and a method for invoking it deliberately. So the next time you feel stuck, overwhelmed, or backed into a corner, try running this ancient program. Stop. Release the problem. Deliberately let it go, like dropping a heavy stone from your hand. Then, turn your attention to the silent, aware presence within you, the part of you that is just watching, just being. Rest there. Know that, and watch what happens. The most powerful creative force in the universe isn't something you have to petition, it's something you have to access. And the password has been the same for 3,000 years. Be still.